Gotta admit, there's no adrenaline rush like circling the massive floors of a toy show and looking for something fun to hunt, buy, and take home. Now, you probably noticed that this is a premiere format and not live airing of the TKO live stream. I still call it a TKO because it's still technically I'm online, so it's still Toy Connections online, even though I happen to be having had to record this ahead of time and premiering it on a weekend at the usual TKO day or close to the time slot. This way, at least the audience has a place to come in and do some interaction and some reactions and whatnot. But the reason I'm recording this ahead of time and uploading it later in this format is because I'm probably at a toy show. We're going to look at some toy hauls today, some of the ones from the past, but I can't do this without friends. So let's bring in my good buddy who is my all-star moderator for TKO, Gazz. Welcome again, buddy.
Wait, we're not live?
Yeah, sorry, bud. We're not live.
Hi to the future.
Hi to the future. Yeah, so you've been given this particular weekend off from going in and taking care of me like you always do in the chats and banning spam bots and
I
putting links in and everything. You get the pleasure going on screen instead.
But I'd probably be in the chat.
Oh, that's true. You'd probably be in the chat anyway. Yeah. I'm just going to boost your microphone for a bit because I can hear you.
Is it too low?
I boosted your microphone a little bit to make it I still hear you a little bit now. So anyway, I'll just say this in advance right now for anybody who might be typing in the comments and wondering why I'm not pulling up the comments. It's because we're not really live. We're just pre-recording. Anyways, it's the whole disclaimer thing I got to state at the beginning because I've seen it happen in chats before. Well, actually, it happened to on Slaughterhouse one time where someone was like, "Hey, can you pull up my comment?" And we're actually in the chat going, "This is not live," and had to explain it. So the disclaimer's got to happen at the beginning.
Hey, why aren't you answering me?
Because you're on screen and my phone's over here. So yeah, okay. Anyway, yeah, I think that's what you meant. But no, thanks for joining me on short notice, and we'll be joined soon by some other friends as well. But what I was going to talk about today was a toy show that I frequent in Victoria. I pretty much go every year, and I wanted to just go over some of my favorite toy hauls from that show from before the pandemic. And the reason I wanted to do that was because it's one of those shows that I treat as a destination, right? Like it's one of those shows that, you know, I got to pack a bag, maybe not a full suitcase. Then I load up the car and I take everything kind of across onto the ferry, across the water, drive to the rec center. And it's a 2-day show and it's just adrenaline rush nonstop. So I figured because it's like 2 days of toy hunting nonstop, I thought that, you know, maybe I could go over some old hauls and see how the people like them, see how people on screen like yourself like them. But before we jump into that, are in the Massachusetts area there where you live, Gaz, is there much in the way of toy shows that you frequent or just stores?
It's usually just stores, but I guess there are shows I don't know about. I don't really frequent toy shows often. Okay. So I know there's one coming up, I think in either next month or the following month. Okay. That Joe Rocondo was telling me about in New Hampshire. Yes. I might go to that one.
Yes. Shout out to our good buddy Joe there. He always watches my my streams, like, and when sometimes he can't catch them live, but he'll typically message me after and say he enjoyed it. And I do appreciate when people do that. Okay. Is there a specific haul that you've always like? Is there a very cherished toy haul that you've ever had in the past from one of the stores that comes to mind?
Most cherished haul,
yeah,
would be the Mauler. When I got the Mauler, I was so happy. that was my big haul.
How complete was it?
I would probably say about 95% complete.
I see. That's pretty good.
Fully working, so it was cool, and they got it at a steal price.
A few years ago or recently?
It was probably just before the pandemic, if not during. Yeah, just before the pandemic really hit.
Okay.
I told them about it. The guy's like, "Yeah, we got a couple of them. I'll bring one in." I'm like, cool. Went down to the store. There it was, and I just stood there in front of the glass for like a good 10 minutes just looking at it.
I see. So you got to stare at it for 10 minutes before buying it. Did it come with heavy metal?
Yeah, but he had bazookas, waist and legs, which was weird.
Did he have his gun at least, his weapon at least, or no?
And he was missing his weapon, and he didn't have the mic.
Nobody ever has the mic on that thing, right?
Got
For
a-
whatever reason, that mic is the most. Is it the most expensive mic? I'm actually
I
trying to
think
think
it's
now.
one of the most expensive mics, right?
Yeah, yeah, pretty
I got a
much.
third party mic though, so that's not a big deal. And I found the gun at a steal too, so I was kind of psyched about that.
Okay, that's pretty good. Like heavy metal's one of my Joes that's not complete. Like I don't think I have either the gun or the mic for it.
His
So
gun is like super expensive. I don't even know why. It's like it's just a gun.
I know. I've done it before where I've gone crazy on buying something. Like I did splurge once on a Starduster visor because I got the rest of him for a steal.
Mm.
So then I figured I'd have a little extra, so I overspent a little bit on the visor back a number of years ago.
Yeah.
Back in 2019. So worked out okay, I guess. Well, I'm gonna pull up a few images on screen here. So like, this is the Victoria Ultimate Hobby and Toy Fair that I frequent pretty much annually, sometimes twice a year. And it's a large 250 table show that's in like a 25,000 square foot hall. And this is actually the booth that I set up. Now you can see that this was back in 2017, well before the pandemic. So like this was back when it was a 1-day show only on the Sunday.
Okay.
And I remember that back when I was back then, let me see if I can full screen this. Can I full screen layout this?
There you go.
Oh, I can. Nice. So way back then, because it was only a 1-day show, we got there on the Saturday. We set up the Saturday night, and then we did the sale on, like, basically did the toy show on the Sunday, right? And I just remember this because, like, I remember I could not sell that Walter White up in the top left there to save my life.
Oh, is that who it is? The one in the yellow?
Yeah, that's when he's in the yellow chemical suit. And Gandalf the White, I couldn't sell that to save my life either. And it was just a weird... It was weird because I thought those were desirable until it showed up. Until I showed up.
I could see Gandalf, but I mean the Walter White.
It's all recency bias, right? Like Breaking Bad had ended yet. I think Better Call Saul had already started, but it was like 1 or 2 seasons in. So
Right.
I remember that Game Boy sold like right at the end of the show. Like, but this is just what I brought to set up. Like I had to do something with some of the money that I made.
Yeah.
And this, other than Snoopy, this was my haul. The joke there obviously is that Snoopy doesn't know what these are and he thinks that they're Transformers. But this was one of the this was my haul from that particular show. And
how much actual mass did you have before this haul?
None. I had sold my mask collection a couple times. This was, I think, maybe the 3rd time I got into mask, maybe 4th if you count my childhood.
Right.
And this was my first foray back into mask back in 2017.
Which is your favorite mask vehicle?
I have the most memories with the Thunderhawk, but I also had the Rhino as a kid. I'm going to say Rhino just for the heck of it. It's the obvious one, right?
Thunderhawk is cool. Not as cool as that jackhammer though.
Yeah. And anybody watching this is going to assume that I got Snoopy at the toy show, but I didn't. I got him well before that. I just thought it was a funny shot because in this angle, well, no, he is an obese Snoopy. Like he doesn't look like an actual Snoopy. He looks like a Snoopy after a big meal.
It's like Mask has got to deal with the kaiju Snoopy.
That's right. Basically, he's the abominable snowman type of Snoopy. So, or kaiju Snoopy. Kaiju Snoopy works too. And this is an interesting one because I know it looks like that Rhino has the radar, but it doesn't. Like if I zoom in, the radar actually isn't there. It's just a tab to put it in, and everyone else was complete. And
out of
I eventually found the radar later.
Out of curiosity, how were the wheels on all those? Because they all have rubber wheels, right?
They're pretty good. Like I didn't check very, very deeply for cracks, but they were pretty good. Like they all still rolled. Like they didn't roll awkwardly or anything. Yeah. Somehow I bought another toy lot probably 5 months after this. And somehow, in a massive lot of Motu, Star Wars, Transformers, and GI Joe, there was one radar for
Nope.
mask. I have no idea how that turned out.
That's a
And I
bonus.
ended up getting, that's how I ended up completing my Rhino kind of randomly. Now, the radar didn't have a sticker on it,
No.
but it's still, what do you call it? It was still, it's still good. Like at least I was able to get it complete. So.
I mean, if it comes down to it, you can always try to get a repo sticker to put on there if you really want to.
And you know, repro labels I have no problem with, right? Actually, I don't have any problem with repro at all, to be honest with you. When I can get an original, I will. But especially with stickers, like I think repro stickers are pretty much standard practice nowadays.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, I know there's people out there that want it to look original the way it did with the original stickers, but me, I'm one of those guys. I like it to look cool when I'm playing with it. So.
Well, yeah. You know, I don't know a lot of like, I know there's the anti-repro crowd, but like anti-repro stickers is something that's very rare, if you ask me. So.
Well, I mean, even with repo stuff, I mean, if it's like, say the Mauler, for instance, if it's spending $15 on a few antennas to complete it, or spending like $150 on an actual original, what are you gonna do?
Well, yeah.
I mean,
it's pretty obvious.
Unless you have like a limitless wallet, then that's fine. But I don't, so I'll go with the repo. It does it fits it well and it looks fine, so it's good.
Yeah. I tend to agree there, right? Like there's, I mean, the thing about buying an expensive accessory, the reward factor I find just isn't as big. Like you're like, yay, I got an accessory, and that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
I mean,
like there's, yeah.
I can understand if you're restoring it and you're gonna end up selling it down the road and you want it to be all original. That's one thing, but I'm not selling anything. I'm gonna give all this stuff to my nephew, so it doesn't really matter to me.
Yeah, I mean, my USS Flag, the fantail railing a few years ago, I paid a lot for that. And when I was done getting it, it didn't feel that rewarding. And it wasn't even the last piece I need. Like, I still need a Y pin for it, which, you know, I should just buck down and get that thing because it's not one of the harder to find parts. But anyway.
That's a lot of money, too. Right?
No, the Y pin is nowhere near the price.
So the railing bit,
the fantail railing, I don't even want to say what I paid for it. Maybe I'll have a couple of drinks and I'll tell you. But we all know I don't need any more drinks. For those who watch this after the fact, I have drunk dialed Gazz before, as recently as 24 hours before we hit record here. So he's a good guy though, and he's always got my back, and he'll answer the phone. You know. All right. So that was fall of 2017. This is the next fall of 2018 because I didn't go to the 2018 spring show. And this is my booth again because they always put me in the corner booth. So this is a bit of a different, not the same layout but different inventory by this point in time. You know, I always bag a lot of stuff to put on the tables in front, but I got to put the cheap stuff at the front in case it gets stolen. But this was a different show in that, like, that Spider-Man sold like right away. That Hot Toy Spider-Man there at the front pretty much sold right away.
Let me ask you a question. See how you go to these and you're actually a seller. Do you ever like make deals with other sellers? Like
all the time.
Some stuff, right?
All the time. Every single time. And it just becomes a case of like, when I sell X amount, do I count the trade with another seller as just a trade, or do I actually catch it as call it a sale? Because if it's something I needed and would have bought anyway, is it any different than selling it and then buying the thing you want? So
you're just paying with some toys, so you're good.
Rather than paying cash, right? Or the other way around. But
yeah, why not?
And I remember like that Playmobil Firehouse, I think, did not sell until I got back to Vancouver and put it up on either Craigslist or Marketplace. But the Avengers Helicarrier sold on the last day. I think I downpriced it by quite a bit compared to what I started with because I didn't want to take it home with me.
So did you just like buy this to sell it at the thing, or did you buy it?
Well, I found I was always buying toys for myself anyway. So what ended up happening is I realized that I think there were a few times where I wanted to buy one item, and the person was only selling either on Craigslist or Marketplace. They were only selling their whole collection. This was so going back to like 2016 when I first became, and I'm calling and using air quotes here, a seller, right? I would do things like, oh, I need Winston's ghost from Real Ghostbusters, right? And I'm like, look, I'll give you $10 for it. And the guy would be like, why don't you just buy the whole lot for 100? I'm like, yeah, but it has all 4 Ghostbusters. It's got Slimer. It's got Ecto-1. Yeah, okay. And you do that a few times. You accumulate all this extra stuff.
Right.
And when you accumulate all this extra stuff, you end up just like, well, maybe I could set up at a toy show, right? And I can't honestly say that this has been a big money-making venture. I've probably spent more on myself than I have selling stuff back. So it's kind of like funding my hobby a little bit. So yeah, but you know who else we could get to weigh in on this particular toy show haul topic is our good buddy here, Oz from Ozstradamus Toyz. Let's give you a quick hello first before we pop stuff on the screen. Oz,
what is up, Ken? Nice,
nice surprise. You probably know Gazz.
Of course I know Gazz. Always see Gazz in the chats. Love it. Pleasure to actually share some time with you.
Yeah, you too, man.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah, I sent you the invite, 25 minutes ago? And
yeah,
just the idea here, Oz, is and people are going to hear this multiple times from me. It's just this is this TKO is going to premiere on a week when I can't do it live. So it's just
wait. We're not live?
Yeah, I know we're not live. That doesn't mean you can start cursing though, because then I got to cut all that out. Well, actually, that's not true. We can always curse sparingly.
Just take this moment to say hi to future me.
Hi to future you. Marty McFly style, right? So
yeah.
Oz, because we're talking toy show hauls on this one. Is there a specific toy show haul or even a toy store haul that sticks out in your mind? Gaz told us a story about his Mauler pickup from a few years ago.
Yeah. Well, a couple of years ago, I was just getting more into the NECA Aliens and Predator. And somebody was selling a huge lot on Facebook. It was in one of the like buy sell NECA groups. We're talking the Queen Alien, several of the Warrior Aliens. It had like 2 Predators in with it, several of the Marines. They had just recently done that Alien versus Predator 2-pack with the humans in there from the video game, the arcade one. And they had it all. It was like $350, which at the time, the Queen herself was going for like $200. I had to buy it. I couldn't say no. And, you know, even though I wasn't so much into, I loved the arcade game when it came out and I enjoy playing it, but I didn't have the interest in the NECA arcade game figures. You know, they released both versions of the Predator. They had released the different xenomorphs and the 2 humans. So like they came with the pack, but I was never going to use it. It also had like the Marines accessory kit, which had like the face hugger tubes from Hadley's Hope and the turrets and all. I'd already had that pack, but this gave me an excuse to get more. And just for that price, like to me, that was an insane haul for the price. And I can't say that I knew enough to exactly pinpoint if any of those were knockoffs, and maybe that's why it was going so cheap. Because, you know, you always run that
risk.
Yeah, run that risk, especially from like a Facebook sale versus, and you know, this wasn't even on Marketplace. It was through a group. But either way, I didn't really care because I was getting the figures that I wanted. I wasn't keeping them in box, so that didn't matter to me. And I was going to set it up in this Hive playset that I was going to, or I say playset, but diorama that I wanted to create. So for me, it was like, no, this is perfect because honestly, it's almost worth it for the Queen by herself. Plus, I'm getting all these extras. I'm doing this. And I pulled the trigger and bought it. And like I said, that was like back 2017, I think.
Oh, yeah.
But that was a huge, sweet deal.
Sounds like it. Sounds like you had quite the experience there. Wow. Well, I mean, you might appreciate some of the stuff in the corner here.
Oh,
Actually, you know what? If you look closely, you can see the Cobra Mamba there, Gaz.
Oh yeah.
And Oz, you'll appreciate the Motu stuff there. Like the table was packed enough that I had to put the Roton on top of the turtle van. But you can see Fisto there with Fisto there and Stridor. Yeah, everything's complete. You can see the land shark and everything. So, actually, there's the whale. There's the whale too.
Oh yeah, very nice.
Back when stuff was cheap to.
And what were you selling that whale at?
Probably 90 or 100 Canadian at the time.
And the Mamba in the box?
Mamba in the box was probably 75 Canadian at the time. Oh, and there's the what is that? The Devilfish for 25 bucks. This you see what prices were like back in 2018?
Amazing.
Before the dark times, before COVID.
If you look here, can you see what are we looking at here? There's the Rattler, a wolf.
Ooh, man, the Rattler. What were you charging a Rattler at? Is that a Night Raven?
It didn't have everything, but it had enough to look good. Like it's got the cockpits, right? I probably only asked $50 for it at the time. Look how many vehicles there were. You can see the Thunder Machine, the Stun. You can see the Watchtower. Another like a Moray there.
I'm not as well versed with the G.I. Joe.
Sea Ray, Night Raven. Look at the Night Raven.
The Night Raven. I was going to say, it's even still got the shuttle on there.
Yep. I think I charged $90 for it back then. And I think this one was complete. There may have been some broken pieces. And the whale definitely had broken pieces, but I think it was either complete or missing one missile. Like the veins were there, but they were cracked. Right. And
I love
you can see that. You can see the Hiss too. This was back when it was hard to sell G.I. Joe to buy more G.I. Joe. But what did I do with my money? I went to another booth, and speaking of repros and customs and whatnot, this was a guy called Red Laser's Army. And look at the type of stuff he had customized. Like these were factory customs.
Oh wow!
Right, like if you're familiar with Black Major, or in the Star Wars world, if you're familiar with Stan Solo Creations or Pro Custom Figures, where they do like factory runs of customs in the hundreds, this was his booth, a part of his booth. So you could see like the different themed troopers and whatnot. And he just had quite a bit there. A lot of these are quite desirable now. Like he was a bit ahead of his time. Back then they weren't super desirable, so he was selling them for like $12 Canadian each. And now, of course, they all go for like 30, 40, $50 now. And he didn't know at the time. And then when I was buying multiples, he's like, okay, I'll go down to $10 Canadian each. And I'm just like, man, right. But now you look at like the Soundwave and Shockwave, they go for probably, 50 US each now. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I have that Snake Eye that's in the center.
Oh, the
green one.
That one, yeah. It's kind of. It looks like there was like an ad. I don't forget what it was for, but it was like Snake Eyes on a BMX, and he was that color.
Yeah. Oh, Kickstart.
Maybe that's what it was. Yeah.
You probably have the one with the green head.
Yeah, I do have the one with the green head.
Yeah. In fact, he's behind me. I might even be able to reach him.
I love that.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Oh, I mean, I did a video on Kickstart actually a number of months ago, or about a year ago. So, anyway,
I have that gray Viper as well.
Oh, the one down here. It's like the eel colored Viper. Or no, I think it's like an urban Viper. I think it's meant to be like a Firefly type of Viper.
I've got a eel from him with this fabulous like logo on his chest, this Cobra.
Oh yeah, cool. I think that might have been Black Major, but yeah. Now the owner,
Black Major, right?
The owner of Red Laser's Army is now going to start Legends of the Hidden Force, the Ninja's O-ring line. So he's moved on from this particular thing to do his own IP, which is great. Now, what did I come home from the show with? I came home from the show with all this. So, if you look at the bottom two rows, I loaded up on Red Laser stuff. At the time I wanted more Blue Troopers. So I got them, and then of course the Night Viper colored Viper.
Yeah.
And if you look at the chest logo of the troopers in the middle, those are Iron Grenadier.
Iron Grenadier, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Iron Grenadier ones. Yeah. And then of course my, when I said sell Joe vehicles and Joe stuff to buy more Joes, loaded up on some Iron Grenadiers up here in the corner, Steamroller from my mobile command center, which I already had, Roadblock, and a bunch of troopers, right? So a lot of this set me back about a pretty penny. So and everything you saw at my booth, it's not like I sold the whole thing, right? If I was lucky, I sold a fifth of it, right? So yeah, let's just say whatever went out the door came back this way.
The Iron Grenadier like blue shirt guys look really cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Like these?
Yeah, those guys.
Yeah. Oh, they're so awesome. Cool. They're so awesome. Yeah. And a few of our friends will definitely like this. Like I at the time I had a Sarge with no triple T.
Nice.
Right. And the G1 Optimus was basically just because I had the reissue from like 2003 and I liked it, but then I saw an original and I was like, nah, that's cool. And when I bought it, he just kind of threw in the instruction booklet. So I'm like, all right, cool. That works
even better.
Yeah.
It's like even when you find a... Oh, go ahead, Gazz.
Sorry. I was going to say, you got to love the triple T. I threw that in there for Zazel.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I knew I had to flash this photo up just because it was Zazel, just because I know Zazel will probably watch this. So, not that he doesn't have a triple T or 2 or 3 or 4, but
can't have enough.
Can't have enough. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, you really can't.
So the next spring 2019 rolls around, and I'm going to zoom in because I don't think my buddy Chung wants people to see his face. So I actually know he's sideways, so it doesn't matter. That's my buddy Chung setting up at my booth. So this one again is a slightly different setup, but again it's the booth all over again. And this time I've got less Joes, and I've kind of replaced it with Star Wars Black Series on this side of the table.
Yeah.
But I do have some hot toys there. Like I've got the Punisher, I've got Thor, Captain America, another Spider-Man.
Very nice.
Right. And eventually, I do this and I go buying stuff again. Like this was my haul from the show.
You get a conquest. Look at that.
Yeah.
You've got the vinyl case for Star Wars. Oh.
Yes. So this was the main thing that I came to get. Like some of this other stuff here, I eventually got rid of. Right. Yeah. So it was a lot of Joe vehicles. I know I didn't keep all of them. But yeah, I did get the vinyl case. This was my foray into Star Wars, right? May 2019, getting the OG 12 and Boba Fett.
Just the fact that you had that vinyl case. I don't know how into Star Wars or as collectible as that vinyl case is. It is so hard to find one of those in decent condition with the trays. Mm-hmm. And the fact that you have it there complete with figures. And I don't know how many of those figures were complete, but that looks like a hefty bag of accessories sitting right there with it.
They all were. There was a little bit of like my Princess Leia came with a blue blaster, and some people said, "Oh no, that means she goes with the Empire Strikes Back version," and some people said, "No, that just means that the pigment was running out, so the blaster came out blue rather than black because the pigment was." So depending who you talk to, it's either a Empire Strikes Back blaster she's got, or it's you can't see it in the photo, but or it's just the pigment ran out, and I ended up with a blue blaster, which I think it makes more sense.
I think it's,
and I got this, it makes sense. And I got the small head Han and Boba Fett, and Gazz will like this one. The Jawa, you'll like the Silver Pass Grand Slam.
Oh, there you go.
Nice.
Yeah, the jump is somewhere. The jump might be inside that white box. Yeah, probably inside it's probably inside the white box. Yeah,
I even see a Princess of Power over there.
Yeah, Princess of Power books.
Shira and Bo with it. Nice.
Look, the Slugger cost me $5. Right.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
It was nowhere near complete, right? Yeah.
No, but still, just for that much of it.
Yeah, a few of these I think got sold off for the next show worth of stuff. This I kept, this action Marine. I kept that one for sure.
Guitar Force Flint.
Yeah. some of these I was just piecing together, like the Omega Supreme. I was piecing together for I had to replenish what I sold at the show. And I think I had some Omega Supreme parts, so I just pieced it together and like sold it back, and basically that afforded me my silver pads Grand Slam.
Is that a bag of Cops figures? Right
Yes, yes, it is.
Nice.
Look at that.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Somebody just recently in a toy group was actually selling like their complete line of Cops, and you just kind of want it. You really want it, but you kind of got to go. I had that Adam on my shoulder saying, "Do you need it?"
Yeah,
I know.
exactly.
That's the type of thing that tends to happen, right? And then, yeah. Oh,
we haven't on that box.
We haven't talked about the mean dog. Unfortunately, I didn't know how to take photos back then, so you get all the glare on the mean dog. So this was 4 years ago.
Front end breaks off on that, comes off on that, right?
I forget. I haven't touched. I haven't played with it in a while. And for the eagle-eyed among you, yes, Run Amok has his gun right there. The black gun.
I was just about to
cardboard
ask.
box. Sorry, Oz.
No,
not
it's
that
okay.
box. The other box. The Havoc in it.
Yeah. What did I do? I went to the wrong screen. All right.
Yeah, right there. Let's see what's in this box.
Two Havocs.
Very nice.
Stinger.
Yeah. There's a modern. I think that might have been a modern Stinger.
Oh yeah, I see the camouflage on it.
And a his tank.
What's that underneath the his tank? There's like a little like tan wheel. Yeah, what is that?
I can't
remember.
Is that a Ram? I can't be the Ram. I don't think so. Got a Ram behind me. No, the wheel's the wrong color. Someone will tell us.
I gotta wait like a couple of months for this to come out to know what that is.
It's
Yeah.
okay. Greatly anticipated.
And you've got the X chopper, the X-wing chopper.
That was one of the few that I had.
Yeah. You get the snake armor in there. Princess of Power figures, like Oz noticed. Yeah. Right. This is what happens when you're just randomly digging at toy shows, right? You got the bag here with it's Frostbite. Look closely.
Yeah, there you go.
And that awesome rifle.
And isn't that Zorana?
That is Zorana behind there. That pink shirt, that red hair.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Some Ninja Turtle weapons.
Turtles weapons, yeah.
Even looks like a little GoBot in there, but it's probably not. I just can't tell you.
Yeah. That was the good thing about having a booth at these shows is I can just kind of bring everything behind the table and yeah.
So that case, I mean, obviously you bought the figure separately with the Star Wars, right?
You know what? The Cherry Bomb owner B sold me the whole thing with the case.
Are you kidding?
No kidding. And the vinyl capes at that?
Jeez.
Yeah. I bought all 12 in one shot with
and that one on the Jawa is a cloth cape, right?
It's a cloth cape. Yeah, it's not the rare one.
Yeah, the vinyl cape on the Jawa is the rare one. But I mean, the fact that there's that many intact vinyl capes in there, period,
right,
is an impressive feat. Like you said, it's the original 12 plus Boba Fett, who was the mail away figure going into Empire. Just that's nuts. To me, as a Star Wars fan, that blows my mind. And an intact vinyl case at that. You got to tell me, Ken, how much? If you don't want to admit it live.
Well, it's a good thing this is recorded.
Including the how much did he charge? It was 4 years ago now. There's 12 figures, including the case. I might have paid $600, I think, for the whole Canadian for all this. So that'd be back then. That would have been about $450 US. I want to say that's what he charged me for all 12, and Boba Fett and the case. But you got to bear in mind, some of these figures are $50 each on their own.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, I was going to say that is not too bad. And like I said, it looks like a complete bag of accessories because they didn't come with a whole lot, as far as like what each figure had. Like that Luke Skywalker, that was it. It was that yellow lightsaber that unsheathed. That was it. He didn't have extra stuff. That wasn't until like the 90s Power of the Force.
That's right.
They had maybe one blaster, if they came with any at all. So,
and they look in pristine condition too, right?
I know the Payne apps are so good. The freaking C3PO. Wow.
R2's decals aren't like faded.
Yeah, not even yellow.
Stormtrooper's, not yellow at all.
Well, that's why, like, when he listed the price, I first jumped away at it. Then I looked at the condition, and I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And then he's like, okay, cool. And then of course, when a seller gets you, they're like, I'm gonna upsell you as well. Do you want a Silver Pads Grand Slam? And I bought that off of him, and it came with the jump platform and everything. So,
It's hard to say no at that point.
yeah, the same jump platform, not with the Grand Slam, but the jump platform was featured in my GI Joe History of '82 line of.
Out of curiosity, Ken, do you still have that case with the Star Wars figures?
So I was gonna wait till we stopped recording because I didn't want to disappoint Oz. I kept the figures. I kept Grand Slam. I did not keep this case.
That case is worth a pretty penny on its own, and if that's not like what you're looking for, like that's not what you're into, I totally get it. The figures are the grail piece in that.
Yes.
Seeing them displayed together is gorgeous, but
what was the cover of the display case?
Oz can probably tell us. Yeah, from what I recall.
Yeah.
So I remember selling the case back to make a little bit of cash back too, because that was the way it was back then. Yeah.
Well, you could catch.
Go ahead.
I was going to say you could catch about a third of the cost back just with the case alone for that. So I totally get it.
Back then, no. Back then, if I was lucky, I got maybe 10% of my cost back. But I'll still take it, right? So
I would have only gotten Boba Fett and the Jawa. Yeah, that's it.
So we get to the fall show in 2019 because that was the spring show, and then this is my my booth at the time. And again, for the eagle-eyed among you, you'll see the white shirt LJ and Hogan there, and look at that Brave Star Tex in the box.
In the box. Wow.
Yeah. Look at this. Look at this. The Strata Coach is up there. Right.
Oh my God.
And
my inner child is screaming.
Yeah. It's amazing, huh? We got what else we got? We got Snake Mountain over here and some Transformers in the corner.
That's a really nice Snake Mountain too.
Yeah. You got Leech there. I think I showed up with a lot less GI Joe this time on this particular show.
Juggernaut.
Is it the Build-A-Figure Juggernaut? Yeah, it's the Build-A-Figure Juggernaut.
Yeah, it is. He's got the darker tones.
Yeah, that's right. So, and I still got some Hot Toys up here that I sold off. That was my old Thor because I ended up getting the Dark World version of Thor that I thought looked better, so I went and sold my Avengers Thor. But yeah, and then my haul. This was part of my haul that day.
Love them Battle Cats.
This is basically how I started doing LJN stuff.
Bobby the Brain.
Bobby the Brain, and I didn't keep the Battle Cats. I think I probably put some armor on them and sold them off again to recoup some cash, because not only did I get these LJNs in good shape, but if you look right there, it's a Night Force Muskrat.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice.
That was always my favorite version too.
The thing is, that is, people will know that's the version 1 boogie board / shield. They just threw it in so that he would have one. I eventually found the regular, like the one that goes with him, but he was still a pretty penny, right? You got Ice Viper. He did have both sides, so you can only see one of them here. And I got the 1982 Snake Eyes complete. Don't know where his Uzi is in the photo, but I got it. So you can tell it's because I have that booth set up that I can semi splurge.
Right.
Does that make sense? Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
A lot of this I ended up keeping. Some of it I ended up selling. Like I kept that Crimson Guard. I kept Backstop because he's Canadian. I probably kept. I do have a fast draw. I can't remember if this is still my fast draw to this day. Brock Lesnar, because I wanted a Brock Lesnar in my collection. Very cool. So this was my haul. One part of my haul that day. I don't know if I got another.
Well, I'm digging Black Cat and Superior Spider-Man in there. And it's a really nice condition merman too. Like his paint's still pretty complete.
Yes. I probably had his sword somewhere, although he's missing part of his armor.
He's missing the belt, but
yeah,
that's kind of common for that piece. So
yeah. So
What's that
oh,
bag up in the upper part? Oh,
that's fine. Let's go. That's actually a good idea. We should have a look at that. Oh, you know what it was? A random bag of accessories.
Those are always fun.
Right. Look, is that not the flipper for the Hydro Viper?
yeah.
And do you not see the gloves for Big Boa?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Whose pack is that? That tan pack that's right by the gloves.
is it a pack or is it
that looks like Crazy Legs'
I was gonna say probably Crazy Legs.
Parachute pack.
Right.
Yeah. Because this is back when buckle harness. Right?
This is back when people would just hand you bags and be like, "Hey, you want these accessories? Yeah, sure. How much?"
Yeah.
They give you a number. How much? So
But
yeah.
I only need that one flipper.
And that's these are things that have happened to me. Like, you got to take the whole bag. I'm like, can I just give you $10 for that one piece? Like, no, you got to give me X amount for the right.
But again, that's you build your own random bags that you end up giving to people who need it for that one piece for $10.
That's just it, right? So like, I know I said I splurged, but I also bought this Hot Toys Stormtrooper at the show.
It's a hot toy. Nobody can blame you for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
God, they are so gorgeous.
I know, even a Stormtrooper.
Right. Like as plain could be. He's just white and black, but
man, they should have marketed the one that hit his head on the door.
Yeah.
The true dented helmet.
Yeah.
Well, with the background, I could makeshift that scene somehow. Maybe, I don't know.
No,
just get a couple of 3D printed, slats go around it. That's the backdrop, and then have the door go bam.
Yeah, cool. My favorite trooper though is the biker scout. I love that.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Scout
troopers are really legit.
Yeah, I wasn't able to capture everything in one photo because I think I took the photo of the Saturday earlier, and then the Stormtrooper I bought, and then I think I'm probably bought these on the Sunday. By this point, like after 2017, so the 2018 and 19 show hauls I'm showing you became a 2-day show. So I started ferrying over on the Friday rather than the Saturday and just staying through the weekend and coming back Sunday night. So this is the Mask Buzzard on the right. And you can appreciate the snake armors because I started building the snake armors. Look, they were $30 Canadian back then for snake armor.
Wow.
Right. So what was that, 22, 23 US? Right. Buzzard was 75 or like 55 US.
To be like an Indy car.
Yeah.
Like an Indy racing car. Yeah.
It splits into two. It splits into three things. But yeah. So anyway, that's pretty much all I had for toy show hauls in terms of like actual things that I got. Like, and this is like my pre-pandemic show hauls that I thought maybe would make it's one of those things that I could have done it live, but I thought, no, let's share this in a bit of an intimate setting and then show it to people later on. And even just having you two here to be like, hey, scroll up and look at that bag. Hey, what's in that box? Hey, what's that over here? And I can pull up any other photo again if either of you two want. But I just thought this was a cool like set of experiences to share. Like that's from October. Basically, I showed 4 different shows: the October 2017 show, October 2018, and then the spring and fall 2019 shows. And then 5 months later, the pandemic started. Right.
Yeah.
And those are just the Victoria Ultimate Hobby and Toy Fair show that's run by Cherry Bomb Toys. The same people who run the National Toy Museum of Canada that you see me do the videos of. Not to be confused with Toy Traders, who have a museum set up-ish on their own too. But, I've been to other shows too, but because that show is a 2-day very special show to me, I just thought that may as well show that off. Yeah. And I don't know, it's bringing back a lot of memories, just circling the floors. Because you got to bear in mind, I got to watch the booth and I got to hunt. So I always got to bring my buddy with me. Either Peter or Chung was in one of those photos, or my buddy Mark used to help me all the time too. And like one of us would watch the booth, one of us would circle the floors. One of the patrons, Steve, who also runs Delta 17, he helped me on the recent 2022 show, him and Peter. Steve came for the first day. Peter stayed for both days, but it was a fun. It's just the experiences, right? Meeting people, showing these hauls, like years later, being able to take pictures and be like, "What do you boys think?" Right? So, I don't know. What was the
Let me ask: is there anything that you regret selling or even buying? Like you really didn't want to take it with you, but you did, and then you sold it, and then you regretted it afterwards?
That's a tough one, because seeing the whale there,
Mhm.
seeing the
Yeah.
Night Raven, and
Yeah.
because those were on my table to sell, right?
Right.
I already had a Night Raven at the time, so I sold that one. Ended up selling my Night Raven in my personal collection. Kind of regret it now. I'm looking at the whale prices because I told myself I didn't have room for the whale, of course, and then I bought a Rolling Thunder, right? So I tell myself that. Then I look at what the whale prices are like now. Funniest story about this is at the 2017 show, which is the first show I showed you. Cherry Bomb's booth was right across from me. They had a Rolling Thunder there, right? And it was listed at 160 Canadian, so like 120 American or so with the driver, everything complete. And I'm staring at it the whole day. It's across from me. It's like 15 feet away from me. I don't buy it. I tell the owner on the way out, I'm like, as we're packing up, like, I've been staring at that goddamn thing all day. I'm not going to get it, but I should. He goes, why don't I drop the price for you? And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, 160 Canadian. Why don't you take it for 80? 80. He's 60 US. And you know what I said to him?
Yeah.
You know what? No, thanks. Maybe another time.
What?
And that is a legit regret, because my excuse was that I didn't have room for it, but I had a Rolling Thunder before in the past, and I knew that if I had the box, I could fit it. If you look above my collection display there, behind the transformer boxes, there's a Rolling Thunder that fits exactly between the top of the bookcase and the ceiling, right?
Yeah.
And I basically told him, you know what? If I can't have a box for it, there's no point in me grabbing it. I'll just pay a premium later. So I get back to town. I tell the guy who's running the upstairs section of Toy Traders about this Rolling Thunder experience. And you know what he says to me? I'm sitting there like, Jesse, if I only had the box, I would have even paid more, his asking price and more without down pricing. And Jesse goes, and you didn't call me? I'm like, why? Because I'm sitting next to a box. I'm at work right now. I'm sitting next to the Rolling Thunder box. I would have sold it to you if you had just bought that Rolling Thunder off of B. And I'm going, all right. So eventually later on, I do get a Rolling Thunder just in my travels of picking up toy collections, but that one's not complete. And then I have to get the pieces. And then I call up Jesse later. I'm like, you still got the box? And he's just like, yeah, I do. Come over, come pick it up. We'll work something out. Right. And unfortunately, Jesse doesn't work there anymore, but that was my experience. And, yeah, I regret that I never took B up on that Rolling Thunder, because you know what it goes for now? And I could have had it for the equivalent of 60 American with the driver.
Can't imagine what it goes for now.
I don't even want to look anymore. Right now, that could be a good feature video to do. Maybe do a Rolling Thunder toy feature.
That would be really cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I just recently, like, it'll be last winter by the time I air this, but it's still winter when we're recording this. But I will have just done the Sky Striker on the flag, right? And I got a Terrordrome video that'll have aired by the time this comes out. Rolling Thunder could be a good one to do.
I think it would be a really, really welcome addition to your library of amazing videos.
Oh,
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Most definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I do get a little. I'll never admit that I'm filming and I get fatigued. I just tell people, nah, just got to get through the audio. It's all good. Nah, just got to get through the filming. It's all good. It's got to get through the editing. Now I got some thumbnails, and Gazz knows in our chat group, people always like, Ken, it's okay if you don't put out a video this week. It's okay. I'm like, well, yeah, but I'm almost there. Just got to film a little bit longer. And they're like, okay, it's okay. You don't have to be a machine. And I'm like, nah, it's okay. I'll do it. And eventually one day I'll just wake up one day and be like, I think I need a month off.
Man, I don't know how you're filming it and then not wanting to play with it. Like if I had the flag in front of me with the brand new Sky Striker, I'd be like, you know what? I'm gonna stop filming now. I'm gonna start playing.
Be like,
I know.
Connor, come here. We're gonna play with all of this. Bring all the toys out. Let's do it.
My boy's not a GI Joe guy, but he did enjoy the flag when I had it out. Like this was back when we were setting it up back in 2021 ish, right? So you
You
know,
dug it then?
he kind of did. I mean, he put his Devastator Transformer on top of it. You can see back when he was still into Transformers. He's still kind of into Transformers, but he's mostly into it as like he makes me use the Transformers to battle his Legos and his tanks. So he treats all the Transformers as bad guys, and I got to be the bad guys. That's kind of how he treats it right now, which is okay. It gives us our playtime adventures, right? So, yeah.
That's cool, though.
Yeah. Anyway, that was more or less the meat and potatoes of this particular TKO, which I guess this is. I think I said at the beginning. I'm still calling it Toy Connections Online because I'm technically online. I'm just not live, so this is just a podcast part of the library. But anyway, getting into all the technicalities. Special event with my buddies Gazz and Oz. So yeah, is there anything you gents wanted to share in terms of either what you're doing, what you're up to, any other toy show memories, toy store memories that jogged your mind while I was busy showing off my stuff?
Well, not even so much memories, but just we all felt that experience when COVID happened and there wasn't any. And how great is it now that it's back?
Yes.
And especially with now being a content creator, I can't wait to start actually going to some of these shows. Now, I'm just recently back to work, so it's one of those things where I've got to make sure some things are straight and lined up before I can start hitting shows. But the excitement of going to these shows now and being able to record that experience and share it with others who I know can appreciate it, that's incredible. Like, making plans with Jesse from Just Shelve It and Sean from Legends of Grayskull to go to Legions Con.
Oh, yeah, you said that. Yeah, you're going to go to Legions. You're going to get to meet Jeremy.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be a wild experience.
That's awesome.
And Ken, you can't make it to Legions Con, but that's okay because I'm going to be there going live with those two, as well as recording the experience and making a video. So you're going to get to enjoy the same experience as I am. And that's phenomenal. I am so happy to be where I'm at right now with my channel and doing these things. It makes going to these toy shows even more exciting. And especially after such a big break from that experience.
Well, yeah, and that's why I wanted to talk the pre-pandemic toy show halls today, because I was like, you know what, this is what we had back then, and we've got it back now. And I don't think Legions Con was a thing before the pandemic. I don't think it was it? Or did they do one?
No, I wasn't.
Did they do one before anyway?
They may have. I'd have to look it up because I wasn't involved in that community at the time. Just kind of like, wow, those are some really awesome figures. And those are some really cool homages to Masters of the Universe. But I wasn't like all in. I was just kind of enjoying it from afar. Now that I'm into it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, the thing with Mythic Legions, right? You can see a few. You can usually see a few behind me here. What it is, I know that Mythic Legions is Kickstarter. The Four Horsemen did their Kickstarter in 2015, and I'm pretty sure the first wave, like a big wave of figures, landed in 2016. So I'm pretty sure if there was a Legions Con before the pandemic, it would have maybe been one Legions Con, because the line was growing. But then now Legions Con's kind of become a thing, right? And Jeremy has always been helpful with the community. He's been a bit busier lately. Like I did notice that, he was more talkative before, but with him working directly for the Horsemen now, he's been very busy. But I know he's like the central face of Mythic Legions at the moment. And I think that Jay Bartlett and Rob McCallum got to meet with him for Action Figure Adventure Season 2. In fact, I think he was in Season 1 as well. I think he got one or two scenes in Season 1. So, and yeah, there's a lot of people who were in our community who are totally into Mythic Legions. Brick something, Adam from Highly Articulated, a bunch of the friends you mentioned, they're totally into Legions. Gaz is not yet into Legions, but maybe we can convert him a little bit.
Just buy one, Gaz. Just buy one.
Well, see, my thing is rockets and rockets and laser guns.
Yeah,
that's my gig.
So. Let me tell you about this new line that's coming out called Cosmic Legions.
I haven't gotten into that. Managed to avoid that. Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's like Flash Scorny, Buck Rogers kind of stuff, I'm all in.
Mega Force.
Or Mega Force, yeah.
Just, it's not to be too punny, but out of this world. And
this is from Mythic Legions?
yes, from the Four Horsemen, they have Mythic Legions and Cosmic Legions now.
And now Figura Obscura as well.
Yes, Figure Obscura is what got me. That Headless Horseman, like at the time I couldn't get it when it went on sale, and I was like, no. And then I talked to Sean, and Sean's like, oh, I've got one. And I was like, oh, really?
You know where I was? You know where I was when that thing went up? I was at one of the toy fairs that I showed you. I was at the 2022 show. It went up for sale like the morning that I was finishing my setup. And in the afternoon, Serpentor went up for order. And I made sure I didn't miss Serpentor, right? Because I missed Figure Obscure. I thought Figure Obscure sold out same day. I'm pretty sure it did. Oz, I think it did. Yeah. So one of the channel members, Impossiblepie, messaged me and said, hey, did you get a Figure Obscura? I'm like, I can't even think right now. I'm waiting for Serpentor. It's sold out already. Oh, okay, Serpentor's still in stock. Let's go. So it was one of those, anytime. See, that was the weekend that I aired. I had a pre-recorded premiere similar to this, not exactly the same. That was the one where I did every toy line I ever collected as a child. Gazz, you might remember that video.
Yeah.
That was like a 45-minute video that I didn't do in StreamYard. I just aired it with my phone camera because I couldn't do a TKO that weekend because I was doing that show, right? But that was the weekend that the Figura Obscura and Serpentor dropped. And also, I think the 2-pack Alpha Trion and Orion packs dropped that weekend too. So I was like, thank God I'm at a toy show selling stuff. And I was still buying stuff at the show.
That's a lot of stuff at one time, though, huh?
That's why I always tell people, just collect 1 or 2 lines. Don't get into freaking 15 or 20 lines. You're not like, because all the stuff I said, like looking at the Four Horsemen stuff, looking at Transformers, looking at G.I. Joe Classified, when the Transformers and G.I. Joe stuff's going up on the same weekend, right? Or the same day even. And you're trying to collect all the lines, right?
Yeah.
Right. So, and I think Jay from Geek Dad Life sent me a StreamYard link. Said, "Hey, you want to go live and talk about the Hasbro reveal?" So I'm like, "I'm at a toy show. I would love to go." So these weekends get busy and busier. So
They
yeah.
do.
Anyway, Gazz, anything you want to give a shameless?
You said that's what is it? The Four Horsemen that's putting that out.
Yeah. You need a link.
No, I'm gonna pull them up just to check them out.
I can probably.
I got nothing. I mean, me and some old friends of mine, we just got tickets to go see well, I would have already seen it by the time this airs, but a show with Bruce Campbell.
Yes.
He's gonna talk some stuff, and then we're gonna watch. I think it's either the second or the Army of the Dead. Is it Army of the Dead? Yeah, Armies of Darkness. I'm sorry.
That's
I'm
all right.
not thinking clearly right now.
It's all good. It's all good. Well,
you're kind of excited about that, so it's gonna be fun.
Well, you can tell us. You can tell us in April how it was when this thing airs live. Yeah. Here's the Four Horsemen Figure Obscura.
I've also in StreamYard's little private chat posted the link to the Source Horseman.
I'll even I'll click that and send us that way.
I got it. Thank you, guys.
Yeah,
no, other than that, I've got nothing really going on other than just working, having fun.
Oh yeah.
I guess. Not at work. I mean, when I'm hanging out with you guys.
Yeah. Wouldn't rather do anything other than be with my boys on a night like tonight. So
I gotta agree. Yeah. And this is the fun part about it. Like last week, I had such a great run between doing Toy Frenzy Thursday night, then we did TKO Friday night.
Yep.
I got to do Me and My Son on Saturday morning, and then Saturday night I went live, and then Jay's all like, "Hey, you want to come on tonight on Monday?" And it's like, I have a hard time saying no because it's just so much fun doing this with everybody.
It is.
It is talking about these
and.
I can be
feel free to tell us about Ozstradamus Toyz because whenever you come here, I hope you get us a little bit of a subscription bump. So tell us a bit more if you want to about Ozstradamus Toyz.
Absolutely. You know, Ozstradamus Toyz live every Saturday night at 9 p.m. Once a month, we do Legions class. So, Gazz, if you're looking to try and learn more about Legions, you can join us. We haven't set the date for this month's episode, but we got to do that because we're already like 1 week in here, second weekend already. Jeez, it's flying by too quick.
Okay.
So we got to set up our new Legions class. The last one, of course, we talked about the Necronominus wave that had just finished pre-order the day after we aired that episode. But we got that going on. This being recorded on Wednesday night, so technically tomorrow night I have Toy Frenzy, but by the time this airs, we'll have already had that episode. So come check out Toy Frenzy on Skelevator's channel, and you can join myself, Bobby, and Skelly as we talk about whatever our topic is that week. You know, that's
Awesome.
really what I got going on. And then I'm all over YouTube these days. I'll be on Mega J's channel. I'll be on your channel, Ken.
Yeah.
Anybody else wants to throw me an invite, I'll hop on theirs too and just be like, what's up, everybody?
No, thank you for both of you for being available on short notice, because this was just going to be me scrolling through old toy show photos, and then I was like, let's do this with friends. Let's, you know,
Best way to do it.
Yeah, and then hear their stories as well, and things that you're both kind of into, right? Like Four Horsemen stuff, you know, or like, you know, Gazz, the eagle-eyed, you know, looking at the Joe stuff in my photos, right? So, yeah. Sorry, no kaijus for you, Gazz, or
That's okay.
or Calvin and Hobbes. So, yeah.
No,
Anyway,
good luck trying to find some Calvin and Hobbes merch.
old comics, yeah. Anyway, you know, we've been going for about just over 60 minutes here. I think if you're all good to call it, I'm good to call it, and I'm available later on if you two want to chat as well. But you know, let's so subscribe to Ozstradamus Toyz. Gazz, maybe I'll put your Instagram link or something so people know where to find you.
Oh, I'll be in the chat. Don't worry about it.
You'll be in the chat. Okay. You might even be monitoring, because if I'm at a toy show, you might be the guy monitoring the chat for me.
Probably,
So
yeah.
if you have time, thank you in advance. If not, then it's okay. No worries. Right.
It's always a pleasure, Ken.
I appreciate that. So, all right, then. To everyone in the chat, sorry I couldn't pull up comments this episode because I don't know what the comments are at the time of recording. So, just for anyone who's wondering, I'm not snubbing the chat. The chat doesn't exist at the time of this recording. So,
the great part is do it as a premiere video, so there definitely is that live chat going on.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is that
Okay.
this premiere will basically be the TKO that of anyway.
Yeah.
We're rambling on about technical analytics again that people don't want to hear about, or usually I bring that up.
On that jazz. Dang it.
All right, gents, let's call it here, and thanks for joining me, and see you all again soon.
Thanks for having me, man.
No problem.
Yeah.